Hello, Kris. It's such a pleasure to meet you today again via the video call.
Sure, Uday. Pleasure meeting you again. It's been, I know, all meetings are now remote and distant, right? I mean, that's the new reality, I guess. Yeah, so it's been an interesting, period of time. The last few months has been challenging, at the same time exciting.
Let me start by congratulating you and JIFFY.ai for the recent funding of $18 million. That's really exciting times for all of us in the automation industry.
We are very excited, we on the funding and the growth trajectory that we are taking at JIFFY.ai.
I want to hear your views on where the automation industry is going in the coming years. And what do you see in terms of its growth? A number of analysts have predicted exponential growth in billions of dollars in the next 2 to 3 years.
Yeah, so I think, this pandemic, unfortunate circumstances, but has given the industry a real chance to sit back and look at how they go about their operations, and they've realized that digital transformation using capability like intelligent automation or RPA is going to help leaps and bounds in achieving a lot of efficiencies in what they've been doing. And with this virtual reality, I think people have embraced this technology a lot more and realize the seriousness of why they need to get digital quicker, right? And that's kind of accelerated the growth of it. So I think once we come out of this phase, I'm sure, and while we are going through this, there is going to be significant uptake in how people look at this technology.
You meet a lot of CEOs and the C-suite of a number of organizations. Are you seeing the same globally and specifically in Asia Pacific and in India?
The communications, the interactions that we have been having both in the Asia Pacific and globally across North America and other geographies, the interest levels have gone up multitudes. Everybody is moving away from experimenting with this technology to really adopting this for a bunch of their critical processes, and that makes founders, co-founders like us a lot more responsible, because we need to factor in how we build this technology from a scalability, from a security standpoint, right? So we are very excited, right? And we feel, especially in countries like India and in geographies like Asia Pacific, there is going to be a significant increase in adoption of this capability.
I've known you for a couple of years, and I've seen the JIFFY.ai organization grow. So it's really been exciting to watch its trajectory all along. And if you can tell us a little bit more about your organization, the founders, the guiding principles, the vision, and your footprint globally, that would be very, very helpful.
Sure. Yeah. So, the clue is in the name itself. So, it's an impatient world, right? So everybody, right from 2 minutes, 31 seconds to, attention spans coming down, people want things to be done really quickly, right? So, Jiffy is all about getting things done quickly in an easy manner, depending on the audience that, who is using the platform, whether it's a business user, whether it's a developer, whether it's a data scientist. The philosophy is to provide capability so that people can quickly implement automation. So and Jiffy stands for 1/1,000,000th of a second. So that's the philosophy behind it. And in terms of the company itself, so we are a unique company. We are headquartered in the US, right? So my partner Babu Shivdasan is our founder CEO, and we have a bunch of co-founders. So we are an enterprise with around 20 odd co-founders who have come together to build this platform. And it's a long journey that we are embarked on, right? So, and we also feel socially responsible as a disruptor in this space. We need to take some ownership on the disruption that we create using automation. So the Panini Foundation, which is the largest shareholder of the company, is meant to help in that cause of retraining, reskilling people with the impact of automation. So we are a social enterprise in all sense, across co-founders, across the way we go about our business and our philosophy towards customers. And just on the last bit on customers. So we are a global organization. We have large customer base in the US. Few leading airlines are our customers. We work with a few global manufacturers. We are very strong in the financial services industry. The background of some of our founders who very deep understanding of this industry. So we have 4-5 verticals that we are focused on. We're still small, but we're still definitely making an impact with our customers and in the ecosystem.
Thank you very much, Kris. I know you're a technical wizard in the industry, and I've always respected your views when it comes to technical architectures for solutions. I really want you to tell us and the viewers a little bit more about this whole combination of the trifecta, right? We're talking about AI, analytics, and automation, and combination of these three in solutions and on the platform. So talk a little bit about the trifecta, its growth, and how all of it is incorporated in the JIFFY.ai product line. And also sort of dwell a little bit more on the hyper automation concept that JIFFY.ai product line has.
Sure. So, I mean, obviously, in the triple trifecta, I mean, I think the center to that should be people. So obviously, this whole technology came into existence where you're enabling people to do things, elevate their game, right? So we at JIFFY.ai have looked at it in an integrated manner, right? So we've looked at automation as an enterprise play, right? So though the applicability of it would be to a business user, but the platform that we have caters to an enterprise to enable a true digital workforce, right? So automation obviously is the core to this, where you're letting the platform in a low code manner automate tasks that are structured. But for these tasks, why do they exist today? Why they have not been digitized in the first place is predominantly because there are challenges with data. So whether it is data in the form of paper, which is going to continue for a while, right? Though digital experiences are there, but still a lot of processes rely on paper, scanned documents, etc. So ability to understand that is a very important aspect, and AI is the way to go, whether it is using machine learning, deep learning capabilities. So our platform provides a native engine for you to process documents using machine learning models. The second aspect is decisioning, right? So where there is an AI element involved, right? So when you're looking at documents and you want to look at data and compare, match, reconcile, you need some amount of machine learning capability to make a prediction where you are trying to supplement human decision making. So that's something that we provide using our recommendation engine, which is again natively built in the platform. And the third aspect of it is how do you bring in a good collaboration between humans and the bots. So we have a very easily configurable workflow engine, which has got an AI layer integrated to it. So you bring in the human to take certain critical decisions, and the machines can learn from that interaction. So a true human in the loop interaction and customizable workflows that you can build from a business process standpoint. And finally, to wrap it up, without analytics and insights, any process is meaningless. So we provide a powerful visualization engine with the data streaming capability with the data lake, where you could actually start understanding your business KPIs as well as start predicting some of them using a prediction engine. So we feel combining all these capabilities into a single native platform allows enterprises to do some meaningful end-to-end process automation and not do this in bits and pieces.
Great. And Kris, tell us a little bit more, just extending it. Once the assets are developed on the JIFFY.ai platform and it goes through hypercare into production, the total cost of ownership of these assets, right? Is it much lower than what's available on other platforms today in the industry? And the ease with which you can maintain and support these over maybe a 3-year or a 5-year plan, depending on how long your application continues to function for you. For your processes. So could you throw a little bit more light about on that aspect that is post development into production?
Absolutely. So in fact, that is something that I feel differentiates us from most other platforms. So ours is a true centrally managed platform. So nothing gets developed at a desktop level, right? So The platform is running on Linux, rendered through a browser, could be deployed on-prem or on cloud. But most importantly, anything that you develop, whether it is a UI automation control or whether it is a workflow, all of them are centrally managed and stored using version control. So one is within a business process, reusability is extremely high. And more importantly, with our app-based concept, which is a very unique concept where we are rendering all these capabilities I told you earlier in an app, it makes it very easy for you to replicate that capability to a new business process. So things like, and everything is centrally managed and maintained, right? So things like orchestration was not an afterthought in our platform, right? So because we are a centralized platform, queuing mechanism, orchestrating a task from a server to a bot, all of them were automatically default built day one, right? So everything is centrally managed and monitored when you go into production. And if you make a change, say for example in SAP screen changes, the developer doesn't need to go to 20 different scripts and figure out where to change, right? So you just go and make a change to a central repository and all the scripts get updated. So it's centrally managed, version controlled, makes it a really enterprise grade application, right? I mean, so you can't really say RPA is brittle because of the change, because it has got all the change control mechanisms in place to make it a lot more robust.
Yeah, great, Kris. I've been sort of talking to a number of the automation practitioners across the country, and when it comes to decision making, they certainly have in their mind the top 3 to 5 organizations that are up there in the magic quadrant, and we certainly seeing Jiffy.ai catch up, in a jiffy to these organizations. So why don't you tell our viewers as to what differentiates you?
Sure. So, see again, there's been a lot of talk about RPA and task automation, and the industry also in the last couple of years have realized that it's not just about task automation, it's an integrated approach, right? Whether it's the triple trifecta or the hyper automation, which is being coined. And whereas where we started was absolutely from that direction. So we don't have a lot of technology debt in terms of the platform. So we offer an integrated experience for a process automation requirement and not just a task automation. So if you go to an enterprise, right, I mean, and want to implement, say, let's take the hyper automation and extend that a little bit. You want to implement that. You bring in an RPA capability, you bring in an OCR document processing capability, you bring in a workflow engine like a BPM engine, you bring in an analytics platform, integrate all of them and automate an end-to-end process. Whereas with Jiffy, all of that capabilities, including the machine learning AI capabilities, are native to the platform, right? So it provides an opportunity to an enterprise to really build some meaningful automation in a platform and not worry about integration costs, integration timelines, and also the maintenance aspects. So, and we also believe in an automation journey. It is not about quickly automating 5 tasks and then figure out what to do next, right? It's a journey. So the way you build your automation blocks are very important, right? So, and the platform allows you to build them grounds up, where any component that is built can be reused in the future as well. So we feel with that kind of an approach, we have a very important differentiating factor. And finally, when it comes to AI, right, there's a lot of conversations around AI. So AI is applied in 2-3 different ways when it comes to document understanding, right? So we have native capabilities to understand documents using our machine learning model. So you don't have to rely on third-party capabilities on that. Second thing is around decision making. So yeah, you see fancy videos on the net of how people do classification, kind of use cases. Again, depending on a third-party AI service, whereas in Jiffy, you have that native capability. So it becomes very easy for a data science team, a business process team to use some of these native capabilities and build some true AI-based automation using our platform. So that differentiates us from others.
Brilliant. Number of young aspirants who are viewing this, who want to take on developing algorithms on different platforms as their profession, or the number of business executives who really want to extend their ability to even add on some new skill set. How easy it is to code on the Jiffy.ai platform?
Sure. So again, we are maybe with the 4.0 release, we are maybe the only app-based, automation platform out there. Now, what I mean by that is there is a different level of user experience depending on the persona who is using the platform. So if you are a business user, right, so you have the ability not just to do, basic automation, right, using the drag and drop low code interface. You also have the ability to build self-service reports, KPIs, predictive models, etc., using the platform. Now, if you are a developer, right, and you want to make a career out of intelligent automation as a capability, it is not just about RPA, right? RPA is basic skills, right? A basic understanding of programming, or even without understanding of programming, you can get this technology. Now, when it gets interesting with our platform is your ability to enhance your career in the field of data science, in the field of business process, in the field of analytics, right? So the platform allows you to use existing models, build new machine learning models, do data cleansing activities, all on cutting edge technologies, right? So that way there is a good career path for people who are getting trained in Jiffy. And we obviously, have a curriculum, right, for certification on the platform. We have 3 levels of certification that we provide for our community. Right now, these training and certification is done, on a online basis, right? Not a self-service capability yet, but in the month of July, we are launching our self-service portal where people can at their own pace learn the platform and get certified. So far, so what the feedback that we have received from the community has been encouraging, right? So we look forward to adding more Jiffy fans into the industry.
Absolutely. So for those viewers, who are watching and are very interested to know more about Jiffy.ai, want to get onto the platform and start developing code, it's going to be very easy. And as Kris mentioned, it's all going to be learning in a Jiffy. One more question here, Kris, that comes to my mind is all about scalability. We have known about a number of organizations starting small. Okay, they'll say, we will get into automation. We see the benefit of it. They sort of rope in the right business units. They identify the right processes. They look at the low-hanging fruits, develop a couple of bots, and then they don't see the benefits in terms of better productivity, efficiency, and efficacy of the automation as they would like to see. And these programs, they at times don't take off. A number of the business cases that get developed do not provide the return on the investment that was originally envisaged, and as a result of which the CFOs don't sign off to bigger programs. So sustaining these programs, taking it beyond the initial plan into an enterprise-wide automation, and I know you have a very strong viewpoint about this and how to make it happen. So can you throw more light?
Yeah, so see, end of the day, I mean, we've strongly believed automation is a journey, right? So I mean, it's not about the pleasure that you get by deploying your first bot live, right? So people have to look at an enterprise approach to this capability, right? It's a digital transformation initiative, which means that you need to look at this in the long-term roadmap, right? A 12-month roadmap, a 24-month roadmap, and how do you get benefits out of it? So because of the the urgency to implement this technology, one mistake a lot of enterprises do is say, okay, let me start small, figure out whether this technology works, and then realize that there is no larger ROI when they look at the bigger landscape. So our recommendation to all our customers and our prospects has been to define the automation roadmap. There are enough best practices out there of how you want to look at the entire journey, right? And build this one block at a time, right? So it is not about getting the first 3 processes live, which is important. I'm not saying it's not, but while you build these automated processes, you want to build a repository of digital assets. Now, if you don't take a program approach to this and build the assets ground up and then bring in reusability, etc., scaling becomes a challenge, right? Every process that you automate, can have impact on something else, right? So that has to be thought through well. The second aspect is on the commercial model, right? It's not just about bots, right? I mean, we have been very thoughtful about that, and say that it's not just about buying 10 bots, 20 bots, and they become your 30, 40 digital workers, right? It's also about the value that these processes that you automate bring in. So we have a very innovative commercial model when it comes to certain processes, where we don't look at this as the number of bots that you use. It's a platform, and how the usage based pricing can be applied in certain cases. So two aspects: build the automation right, look at a long-term journey, right, and not just focus on one or two processes with a proper bunch of reusable artifacts. And second thing is, scalability has to be thought through, right? I mean, from an ROI maintenance standpoint.
Given the current situation, this is the time to start digitally transforming yourself, to look at your front office, middle office, back office, and get automation as one of the solutions.
Automation is inevitable. I mean, every enterprise is definitely serious about automation, but I think there is lack of awareness of how to go about an automation journey using a technology like intelligent automation or RPA, right? So it is important for organizations to pick the right set of processes, right? I mean, which they want to identify and automate, and have realistic expectations on ROI as well, right? So it's not that every process will give the same amount of ROI. So it cannot. So when you look at it, you have to look at it as an ecosystem where in certain processes the ROI would be customer satisfaction, it could be a turnaround time, or in certain cases it could be real productivity saving, right? So pick and choosing the process is very important, and it has to be a sustainable journey, right? It's not about just automating, right? Once, and everything requires maintenance, right? It's not that you can build it there and forget it, right? Things keep changing, and also automation will keep changing. So as long as organizations have that thinking, the maturity in that thinking, I'm sure there is definite success that can be achieved in this space.
Thank you very much, Kris. Thank you for spending time with us today. Thank you very much for your views. Wishing you all the best of luck for your future endeavors at JIFFY.ai. I want to thank Babu. I want to thank Paili. All of you are the founders of the organization, and wish you all the best of luck. And really want to thank you once more for helping make India the automation capital of the world. So thank you, Kris.
Thanks, Uday. It was a pleasure talking to you, and thanks for your wonderful insights. It is always, and I always learn something when I talk to you every time, right? So let's continue the conversation going, right? And then let's all hope and pray that this pandemic will soon come to an end, and we all be back on the road, meeting and greeting and hugging each other, right? Till then, all of us stay safe.
Thank you so much, Kris. I agree with you completely that all of this should go away, and we should reconnect back again like we did before. Thank you so much, and I wish automation could play a part in that, which I know it is in many pockets of the world. So thank you very much, Kris. Thank you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.